Gaming mice often come with a premium price tag, but not this one. Howdy guys, Ponchato here, and today we're checking out the Havit MS760 RGB gaming mouse. It offers great bang for your buck and a ton of features at only $36. Thanks to Havit for sending this out for review, and let's get started. The MS760 is a wired gaming mouse with a pretty unique feature. The side panels can be swapped out to add more buttons on one side or change the shape to suit your hands on the other. It's on the larger side for mice at 41.5mm tall, 125mm long, and either 72mm wide at the default configuration or 79.5 with their secondary side panels. The side panels are held in with magnets, so it's pretty easy to swap them out on the fly. And both the left and right side panels can be changed. The left side can use either the 3-button side panel, which is the default one, or the MOBA configuration with 9 buttons on the side, which flares out at the base for more support for your thumb. Using the MOBA side panel gives the MS760 a total of 14 customizable buttons, so you can have plenty of spots for your macros, keystrokes, or any other controls you might need. You can also pick from 2 right side panels, the thinner, more traditional one, or a wider shape with sort of a shelf for your pinky or ring finger. With the 9-button left side and the wider right panel, the MS760 is very well suited to large hands. I was a bit skeptical of the side buttons at first because of how easy it is to swap out the panels, but they're actually very responsive and work well. Once you get a feel for where everything is on the 9-button panel, it makes using multiple functions in games or other software really easy and really fast. In its default configuration, the MS760 is fairly heavy at 128 grams, but swapping out to the 9-button panel and the wider right panel increases that weight just a little bit to 134 grams. Despite its larger size though, it doesn't feel like a super heavy mouse. Underneath it has 2 large gliding surfaces, one at the front and one at the back, and if you use the 9-button side panel, it also adds another foot for more support. The cord is 1.7 meters or about 5.5 feet long and has a braided cover. It's a little bit stiff, but it glides very easily, so it doesn't affect movement at all. The MS760 has a pretty nice sensor despite being such an inexpensive mouse. With the default built-in profile, the DPI has 6 levels you can switch between, from 1200 to 10,000. And each DPI level is indicated by the LED color in the wheel and the logo. There doesn't seem to be any angle snapping, which is always important for a gaming mouse. Otherwise, movements very close to directly horizontal or vertical will get forced into exactly horizontal or vertical, which can throw off your aim in games. For example, if you're flicking far to the right and only a little bit up, a mouse with angle snapping will just ignore that vertical movement. By default, acceleration is enabled, but it can be easily disabled in the software, which we'll take a look at later in the video. But first, let's look at the all-important LEDs. The MS760 has RGB LEDs in the scroll wheel, in the logo on the back, and across a bar on the lower rear side. The LEDs in the scroll wheel and the logo on the back are used to show the current DPI level, and the LED bar is where the RGB effects are shown. The default is the standard rainbow wave, but it can be cycled through 10 different modes by holding the back button and clicking the scroll wheel. The RGB effects can also be customized in the software, which we'll look at now. In the software, you can adjust the DPI for all 6 levels from 200 to 10,000 in 100 DPI increments, change the wheel and logo LED color for each one, or disable DPI levels entirely. Here you can also customize the RGB effects by changing the mode, color, brightness, or speed, depending on which setting you're looking at. The next tab is where you can change more specific sensor settings like sensitivity, which I would just leave at default, and importantly, this is where you can disable acceleration, which they call enhanced pointer precision, just like what they do with Windows. Finally, after that, you can change the polling rate, which defaults to 500 Hz. And there's really no reason not to use 1000 Hz here, in line with basically every other gaming mouse on the market today. On the left side is where you can customize the function of each button. They can be set to all the usual commands like left or right click, forward and back, and media keys, but can also be used for more interesting functions like DPI lock. This is usually called a sniper button on other mice. This function will drop the mouse DPI to a certain level that you set for as long as the button is pressed. It's useful for situations that need high accuracy, like while sniping in games. Finally, you can record keystroke macros, modify them, and assign them to buttons all in the software. After clicking apply, the mouse stores the current profile on board, so you don't need to run the driver for everything to work. The software also lets you save multiple profiles, so you can easily switch between them when switching between games or software. After spending quite a bit of time in-game with the MS760, it is a really nice mouse to use. The sensor seems very accurate, especially after increasing the polling rate to 1000 Hz and disabling acceleration in the driver, and the button placement is very natural and easy to use. Especially with the 9-button side panel, panel, I didn't find myself accidentally pressing the wrong button at all. I also preferred using the secondary right panel, the one with the little shelf, for long periods of gaming. I haven't really used large mice before, and it was a nice change and very ergonomically shaped. My only minor gripe is I would prefer the scroll wheel to have a bit stronger ratcheting between each level. That's not really a functional problem, that's just how I prefer the mouse wheels to feel. But both the left and right buttons require a good level of pressure to click. Not so soft that you're misclicking and not so hard that you're missing shots. Overall, it's a great mouse for gaming and it's very comfortable. So if you're looking for a good RGB mouse with tons of features and a really affordable price, the MS760 from Havit is definitely worth a look. Click the link in the description to pick one up for yourself. Hit subscribe and click that bell icon to get notified of new videos as soon as they're up. If you like this video, hit the like button. If you want to see more, hit subscribe, and I want to hear from you. What mouse are you using right now? Let me know in the comments below. Thanks for watching. I hope I helped, and I'll see you in the next video. I died in Warzone so many times while messing with the camera to get those action shots. Like, every time I'd find a corner to hide in, someone would fly through a door and destroy me. The sacrifices I make for these videos.